Have you ever heard about isolated tribes living a primitive and barbaric life away from modern societies and many of the luxuries they offer outside a book? Well, if not, get ready to hear the fascinating tales of the top 10 scariest tribes that exist and are feared by everyone. The Asmat tribe is one of the craziest tribes in the world, with some bizarre practices that will leave you in shock for days. The fact that ordinary people like you and I could be presented to them on a plate and they will season it and call it a meal without giving it a second thought should be enough to help you understand what I mean when I use the words crazy and bizarre. Not only this, they are also habitual of headhunting and use things like skulls as pillows on which they lay their heads before dozing off at night. These skulls are also seen by tribe members as a sign of honor, and they like to keep them in their houses for decoration. Every individual in the tribe is named after a life they have taken. What this essentially means is that people in this tribe have to go hunt someone down, kill them basically, and then they get a name and carry it with them for the rest of their lives. Right now, as of 2024, many of the extremely barbaric rituals of this tribe have been eliminated or are in the process of being eliminated, but still many persist. Regardless, to think that any of this could be possible at any time in history within the human race is shocking. Next up, let's have a look at the Yifo tribe in the wild jungles of Papua New Guinea. They live in a completely remote place that can require more than a month of trekking through rough terrain or paddling with a boat through a winding long river. And the worst part? It is infested with crocodiles. The people of this tribe use their women to spy on the enemy tribes as they can blend in with the surroundings of the jungle because they are smaller as compared to their male counterparts. The men too are of course quite skilled and can be seen running between treetops without losing their balance. These people also love headhunting and see skulls as trophies, as well as defense materials that will keep ill-intentioned people away. I mean, I don't know about you, but I won't risk messing around with people who have a bunch of detached heads chilling in their backyard. The western Amazon basin in Brazil is home to the Kurubo tribe, which is also known as the Clubbers. The Clubbers is just a nickname for them, given because they don't like using modern weaponry in battle and instead employ things such as clubs and poisonous darts. But unlike most other tribes who use these war equipment to defeat the enemy, these people do not shy away from killing their own people if they are not seen as strong enough to survive. Physical strength is a must-have, to such an extent that it is based on this that they decide whether somebody gets to live or die. The Sentinels are another scary tribe that lives in confinement on North Sentinel Island, part of the Andaman Islands in the Bay of Bengal, away from the eyes of the world. These people have been living here for thousands of years now and have been labeled one of the most isolated communities on Earth. Despite their small size, the Sentinels are extremely resilient and time and again, they have made it very clear that they don't want anything to do with the rest of the world. In fact, they are so aggressive about this policy that they have even attacked outsiders who came too close. You might have even heard about this accident in 2018 about an American named John Allen Chow who got too close to them and eventually ended up paying a huge cost for it. But despite the secretive nature of the tribe, we do know things about them and their norm of living. They fish, hunt, and build small boats for shallow waters and have a unique way of presenting themselves, with women wearing strings and men wearing necklaces and headbands and carrying weapons with them. Even though they lack modern conveniences, the Sentinels seem to be in good living conditions and even managed to make it through a major tsunami in 2004. To get to know the next unbelievable tribe of the world, we will have to travel to the mountains of the Philippines, where a small tribe called the Baka lives and faces the huge challenge of survival every day. What makes this tribe so scary and intimidating is its strange way of living, and most importantly, its ability to stay alive in such harsh conditions. This tribe has less than 300 members and is therefore classified as the smallest tribe living in northern Palan's dense forests. If we talk about their everyday life, it's quite simple and revolves around farming, hunting, gathering, and fishing. Their survival is threatened by various factors, including land encroachment, deforestation, and the spread of diseases. Many Baks struggle to access sufficient food, which makes them more susceptible to illness. Infant mortality rates are high, and there is a lack of new births within the tribe. Next up, we have the Korowai tribe, which remained isolated for so long that they believed they were the only humans present on Earth. Surprisingly, despite their primitive lifestyle, they have constructed tree houses towering over 140 feet high, and their existence remained unknown until the 1970s. After finding out about other people, they developed the belief that outsiders brought evil spirits and demons. Ironically, though, they practice witchcraft and sorcery and are superstitious, crediting any type of sickness or ailment to malevolent spirits. Their hunting method involves the use of bows and arrows, and their diet extends beyond wild animals to include human flesh. I am sure this last bit was very unsettling and hard to digest. Also recognized as the ghosts of Papua New Guinea, the Asaru people, like many others we have talked about in this video, are extremely passionate about keeping outsiders away. They employ bamboo to extend their fingers, craft intimidating masks from clay, and cover their bodies in white paint, instilling fear in those who encounter them. People of this tribe are deeply spiritual, with many of their practices having traces back around 2 centuries ago, when a tribe attacked the Asarus and they fled into the Asaro River. Covered in white and gray mud, they appeared ghostly to their pursuers, who mistook them for the spirits of their slain enemies, and being afraid of the supernatural, the attackers retreated. This incident was pretty much like cracking a cheat code, as the Asarus realized that they could intimidate their enemies and stay protected. Because honestly, imagine stumbling upon such a tribe when journeying through the jungle. What would you do? I'd run for my life, and I'm sure many others would too. The next tribe we will be talking about is the Mashko-Piro tribe in the Amazon rainforest. They are also referred to as the uncontacted tribe because they've been completely cut off from the rest of the world for more than 100 years now. Even though they are considered uncontacted, the Mashko-Piro have interacted with a limited number of communities in Peru over the last 40 years. But how did they get here in the first place? This happened during the late 1800s and early 1900s during the rubber boom, when some people fled to the Amazon for rubber but were mistreated and consequently decided to go deeper into the forest to avoid all that trouble and decided to never come out. The Yanomami tribe, which consists of around 35,000 people, resides in the Amazon rainforest and has been there for the past 15,000 years. Their first meeting with the outside world was recorded during the 1940s when people from Brazil started taking over their lands. Their everyday lifestyle revolves around hunting, gathering, and growing crops. The people of this tribe paint themselves with bright colors, and their men can be seen wearing beads and feathers, and women wearing skirts typically made from tree bark. The Simu tribe, which can be found in the high mountains of Papua New Guinea, is renowned for its special dances. The Simu people live inside scattered mountain houses, which adds up to the mystery of their way of life. Their homes are simple, featuring dirt floors, low-thatched roofs, and walls constructed from flattened reeds. A notable aspect of the Simu culture is their skeleton dance, initially performed to deter other tribes in Papua New Guinea. Despite encountering new influences, the Simu people maintain many of their traditional practices. Many people believe that Simu ancestors feared a mountain ghost, which sowed the seeds for the invention of the skeleton dance to navigate the woods peacefully and ward off the spirit. This ritual persists in mountain caves containing human remains as a means of upholding their ancestral customs. Do you think you'd ever want to meet any one of these tribes in real life? For me, the answer would be yes. It would be fascinating to witness firsthand how these strange tribes live, but the thought is also quite scary because nobody really wants to mess around with them. After all, the cost could end up being a very heavy one to pay.